Okay guys, today we're going to be doing a full body workout pairing a lower body and upper body exercise. So there's 4 different supersets. We're going to do 3 sets of each exercise, kind of either 10 to 15 or 15 to 20 reps. So what you're trying to do is get the top amount of reps, and then once you do that, increase the weight. And if you can't, start on the lower end, so start on 10 and work your way up to 15 on the next workout. So we'll get into it.
So the first exercise we're going to do is a kettlebell or dumbbell squat. So you're going to have 2 kettlebells or 2 dumbbells sitting on your shoulders. We're going to go here 3 seconds on the way down, pause at the bottom, and then control up. So feet just outside shoulder width, toes turned outwards. So you want to put the pressure on the outside of your feet. Think of getting the hips back, then the knees out. Control the way down, pause, drive up. We're going for 3 sets of 15 to 20 here. So nice and controlled, drive through the heels. So the reason why we're slowing it down a bit is just to focus more on using your muscles and not using momentum, so we don't want to just bounce up and down. So you see at the top each time, I'm squeezing the glutes, breathing in, tightening the core, hips back, knees out, control the way down. My stance is kind of very narrow. If you need to take a slightly wider stance, you can, whatever feels comfortable. You just don't want to go too wide that you can't get your knees out over the out when you're going down. So you see here, keeping the back straight all the time. Squeeze the glutes at the top, breathe in, control the way down, drive the heels through the ground to get up. Good. So you'll be inclined to go faster. So as it gets hard, really focus on that 3 seconds on the way down. So then we're moving into press ups. So we're going to go with a slower tempo here as well. So 3 seconds on the way down. So your hands just outside shoulder width, and they should be directly underneath the shoulders. So if you look at me there, I'm in a straight line if you were to go from my wrist to my shoulder. So you want to bring the elbows back at about a 30 to 45 degree angle, whatever feels comfortable. You just don't want them, they're going to want to flare out to the side. So you want to keep them kind of tucked in slightly at that angle. Control the way down, really think of pushing your palms through the ground to get up. We're going to go 10 to 15 reps here. So same thing, really use that control, 3 seconds, control the way down and up. So breathe in at the top, tighten your core, control the way down. So you see there with my knees, to make it easier, you bring your knees in closer. To make it harder, the further back you go, the harder it's going to be. And ultimately you can go up onto the toes. So we're doing 3 sets of each exercise. So next we're moving on to split squats. So you're going to hold a kettlebell or dumbbell in each hand. You're going to have the front foot elevated. So up on a step or anything you have available. What you want to do here, get your stance. So nice and wide stance. And don't think of, so try to put one foot out to the side. So you don't want your feet directly behind each other, as it'll just take you off balance. So here you want to think of bending the back knee down, letting the front knee travel forward, drive your heel through the ground to get up. So really focus on driving through the heel here and keep not letting the pressure go into the front of your foot. So nice and controlled movement, back leg down, and then drive through the heel. Take your time setting it up. It can be, especially for balance, you want to make sure that your front foot is planted. Back foot then is at a nice distance. If you're too far back, it's going to feel awkward to get down and you might feel a strain on your hips. And if you're not wide enough with your stance, you're going to end up coming up onto your toe. So you want kind of that in-between stance that's comfortable for you. So back knee down, really think of nearly touching the hamstring off the calf here. Don't fall over like I did. So nice and controlled, drive up through the heel. You should feel this in all your legs, so your quads, glutes and hamstrings will all be working with this. If you do find yourself going off balance, think of keeping your upper body tight all the time. So if your upper body doesn't move, your lower won't. So we're going 10 to 15 reps on this. And next we're going to move into a one arm row. So you're using a chair or anything to support you. So hips back, you want to have a bit of pressure feel tension in your hamstrings before you lift. Chest up, keep the back nice and straight. Think then of pulling the shoulder blade back towards the hip and then the elbow follows. So we're trying to go for a 2-second squeeze on each rep here just to make sure that we're really feeling it in the back. So keep the chest up all the time. You'll find as you do this, your chest will want to give in or lower. So you might have to remind yourself to just chest up every couple of reps. So shoulder blade moves back and down first, elbow follows. Think of tucking your elbow right in towards your hip. So as if your elbow is going in towards your lower back at the end. Squeeze, stretch on the way down. So with this movement, it's not an up and down movement, it's more forward and back. Think of like sawing a piece of timber or something more than actually going up and down. So hips back, keep that body position, chest up, just moving from the shoulder blade and the elbow. Squeeze the back, stretch on the way down. As you get tired here, you might find your elbow doesn't go back as far. Don't worry about that. Just think of squeezing the back muscles and don't worry if it's not, because what will happen is as you get tired, you'll want to go upwards instead of back, and you'll end up just putting pressure on your upper back and neck when you don't need to. So really just think of going back, squeeze and stretch on the way down. So 3 sets of each exercise. So next we're moving into a B stance hip thrust. So this is predominantly a one leg exercise. So you're going to set up as if you're doing a hip thrust with 2 legs. Then you're just going to put one foot slightly forward and up onto the heel. So you see here about 80 or 90% of the weight is going through my right foot where the heel is down on the ground. The left leg is literally just for balance. So up, squeeze, control the way down. Really think of driving the heel in through the ground, squeeze the glutes as hard as you can, come down. So we're going for 15 to 20 reps on each leg. So you're just moving from the hips here. You don't want to let the back hyperextend. So think of keeping the chin tucked down, stomach crunched, tuck the pelvis in underneath then. Squeeze as hard as you can. You'll see by my facial expressions, it burns. So when you're setting up, make sure you really drive that heel into the ground. You want to have your foot position where your knee and ankle are in line at the top. If you're too far forward, it's just you're gonna be inclined to hyperextend, and if you're too far back, it's gonna be hard to push through the heel. Good. So you see the right foot here is just for balance, toe pointed up, and you're just putting a slight pressure through the heel just to keep your balance. Up, squeeze and down. So you can use a bench or even a couch, whatever you have available to you at home. You just want to elevate the upper back slightly. You should be burning by now. So really concentrate. Don't let the knee come in when you push up as well. So when drive through the heel, don't let the knee come in towards your other leg. So next exercise is lateral raises. So these are for the shoulders. We're going to go with 4 seconds down. So this is the important part. A lot of people will just let the momentum take it down, whereas we want to control it here with the shoulders. So chest up, shoulders slightly pinned back. Think of lifting out, not up. So you're lifting your elbows away from your body as much as you can. Then control all the way down, and you're not letting the dumbbells touch your side. So you're controlling just before they're going to hit, back up again. So what this is doing is keeping tension on your shoulders all the time, and you will feel a massive burn on these if you don't already. Try not to move your hands. Think of moving through the elbows more than your hands. People are inclined to twist their wrists here. Think of keeping a slightly rotated inwards, and then just move out from the elbow. Going 15 to 20 reps. And if you do find yourself burning like I was here, you can stop for a couple of seconds and relax, shake out the shoulders and go again. You'll find as it gets very tough here, your neck will want to tense up and your traps and upper back muscles are going to want to shrug upwards. So you don't want to do that. You want to keep chest up, shoulders pinned back. And as you get tired, you might not be able to lift as high. So you want to go to shoulder level, but as you get tired, doesn't matter how high you get, just control the way down. You see here, even my hands have dropped a bit. I'm burning. So we're going to 3 sets of 15 to 20 on each. So now we're moving on to core exercises. So we've got toes to the sky. We're going to do 3 sets of 10 to 15. So you're lying flat on your back, point the toes upwards, and you're using your hands for support. What you want to do here is actually minimize the amount of movement. So we don't want to use momentum here. You're literally just pointing the toes up, lifting the hips up, try to crunch with your abs and control the way down. So each time you do this, think of going straight up, squeeze the abs, control the way down. It's very hard not to let yourself just fall down, but that's where the challenge comes in. You really use your core to try and control you down. So crunch up, breathe out, control the way down. So from this, we're moving into reverse crunches. So your core is already going to be a bit fatigued from the first exercise. So here, we're starting on the ground again. You're going to have knees up in a 90-degree angle. Then they don't move. Think of bringing the knees into the chest, crunch the stomach in, breathe out. So it's very important here. Each time you crunch in, you breathe out to fully contract your abs. So crunch, breathe out, control the way down. These will be getting tough by now, especially after doing the first exercise. So just make sure to control it as much as you can. Keep breathing on each rep. So crunch, breathe out, control the way down. So going 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps on each of these movements.